Okay, welcome to an analysis of the French Revolution in AP European history. We are going to be examining the reasons behind the French Revolution, specifically the financial issues leading up to the revolution and the different historical figures that attempted to solve these financial issues. So, the first thing we have to examine is how the French wound up in this situation, which a major part of this has to do with their 7 Years' War with Great Britain, that we assisted the British in their fight, and also the American Revolution, which the French, near the end of the American Revolution, lent a lot of financial support as well as their navy. So, because of that, they came out with a tremendous debt, and they had a policy already in place in which the wealthy were not being taxed very highly anyway, and this caused a major problem in terms of a lack of revenue coming in from these major financial endeavors. As we know, wars are very expensive. The first person that we need to examine is Jacques Necker, and he emerges in 1781, and they bring him in to deal with the finances. He's a Swiss banker, and what he is able to come up with is a plan in which he reveals once again that the aristocracy, the wealthy, are the ones that are costing the French government so much money, and that a large portion of the costs, the expenses, go to pensions for aristocrats. The aristocrats, of course, are not happy about that, and they push Necker out of office. Necker is replaced by a man, Colonne, and Colonne tries to come up with a different plan, but once again, his plan involves taxing the land of landowners, and a major issue is that it's based on how much land you actually have. So if you are extremely wealthy, in many cases you own a great deal of land, which means that your taxes would be higher. Colonne goes to the Assembly of Nobles because he needs public support for his plan. And unfortunately, the aristocracy does not accept his plan at all, and they call for the reappointment of Necker. But instead of Necker, they replace Colonne with Brienne. Brienne is actually Colonne's opponent, but once again, he appeals to a group, this time the clergy, to pay their debts, and the clergy wants nothing to do with it. So after that incident, Brienne resigns and is replaced by Necker, which was what they wanted in the first place. To really understand what is going to set up the French Revolution, you have to understand that the French political structure is based on these three estates. And in the first estate, you have the clergy. And the clergy is very wealthy they own a lot of land, and a lot of the money goes to the church, and as we know, even in our society, churches aren't taxed like a business. So you have the first estate, which is extremely wealthy. Of course, the second estate, the nobility. So those are all your landowners and aristocrats. They're very wealthy. And the third estate is interesting because you would think that the third estate would include peasants and people that aren't very well off. But the third estate in this time period, the main figures are actually wealthy middle class, mainly what you would know as your merchants. And the third estate is very upset with the first and second in terms of their ability to control France.